Hello, hello, hello. This is James Cardanian Bond coming to you from Telemundo in San Juan, special edition with the amount of content that just came out for the last few days. I couldn't hold back on this one. So, again, this is a special edition. I didn't expect to come on, but I do need to bring up some updates. Again, you can't make this shit up. There's so much content here. I love it. So let me get everything set up, and then we'll just go from there. All right, give me a few minutes, guys. Let's get a few trolls in here, and then we'll bring you up to speed on what is really going on in the Philippine genre. That's what GENRE. Okay, that's not GENDRE. It's GENRE. All right, give me a few minutes here. Almost there. Just to need a few more minutes. We've said there's been some unforeseen events that just popped up last few days. Let's wait a couple of more minutes. We got 6 people in here. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Can somebody put in the chat that you can hear me? I'd appreciate it. I would really appreciate it here. We'll kind of get started here. A lot of stuff to talk about. But I'm going to try to keep this to 1 hour. That's it. I don't want to go more than 1 hour. I don't want to waste 1 hour. Really, I don't want to waste more than 1 hour for all you clowns. All right, Joel. Thanks a lot, Joel Albo. Loud and clear. Good, good, good. We got 7 people. We can go ahead and start. I mean, look, I'm James Cardanian Bond. I only do this to decompress. This is for entertainment purposes only. Okay? So don't get butthurt if I talk about your little butt. Don't get butthurt. Just relax. Be calm. It's only for entertainment purposes only. If I really trigger you, then get the fuck off my channel. Don't even listen, and then go do something else. Okay? Look, I am here in the Philippines because I earned the right to be here. Keep that in mind. I'm gonna say this quote every time I do a live stream. And then you are there because you can't afford to be here. So keep that in mind. All right, just keep that in mind. It's not an arrogant statement. It's a truth, plain and simple. All right, let's see where are we at here. We got 6 people in here. Very, very good. And first thing we want to do is we want to talk about the chair. I can't freaking believe this. The chair finally, after X amount of years, I don't know how many years, maybe 4 or 5 years, since he had a riff with Bama, got Bama put in detention in immigration jail. Now, I, James Cardanian Bond, do not know what immigration jail is about because I pay my visa fees. Well, actually, I don't have any visa fees. All right. I just have to do once a year an annual report. And then every 5 years, I have to renew my ACR card. All right. That's all I have to do. But there are others, such as Bama, that's on a tourist visa that needs to pay his visas every month. Now, whether Bama paid his visa fees or not, that's his business. I, James Cardanian Bond, don't give a fuck what Bama does. Okay? If Bama pays his fees, that's great. If he doesn't pay his fees, that's up to him. Okay? Keep in mind, you are responsible for your actions in the Philippines. What you do or don't do may eventually catch up to you. Okay? Now, Bama was in jail over the weekend, or well, I think the last couple. He's been in jail for a couple of days, immigration jail. Hopefully things will work out for him. Now, this whole mess between this riff, I should say, from my recollection, hey Larry, how you doing? Uh, Goes back in the day when I remember Frank gave Bama $20 one time, and then I don't know. Frank was on Bama's in the chat, in Bama's chat. Somebody was messing with Frank, and then Frank got mad because Bama didn't block the guy. So that's how this whole riff started, from my recollection. Hey, Big Kev, I'm James Cardanian Bond. Yes, I am who I am. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. Hope everything's going well with you. Stick around. Today you're not on the topic, Big Kev. Not at all. Not even once. Okay, I'm not even gonna say nothing about you today. So that's how the riff started, and then again, Frank took it to another level, or the chair, I should say, took it to a level where it's unbelievable what he's doing to Bama. Now, is Bama an upstanding citizen in the community, in the Philippine community? Again, the jury's still out on that. I don't care what Bama does. What Bama does not reflect upon what I do here in the Philippines. Some people say, well, it makes all Americans look bad. No, what Bama does or doesn't do does not make all Americans look bad. It just makes Bama look bad. Okay, that's the way I look at it. And that's Bama's business. If Bama gets in trouble, then Bama needs to get out of trouble by himself. I do not, and again, I want to mention this again, I do not donate to anybody anymore in the Philippines. I have never donated to Bama. And Bama and I know, and Bama knows I will not donate to him. He knows how I feel about that. And we're cool with that. We ain't got no problems with that. I've donated a little bit to a couple other bloggers in the past. And I've decided that I do not need to buy friendships. So that's why I do not donate to anybody anymore. Okay? I don't need these kind of friends. Hey, Graham, it was just a virtual bump fight. Big Kevin, keep my name out of your mouth. What are you going to do, man? Come up here and slap me? I don't think so. But anyway, let's move on forward. So Frank is a very, or the chair, I should say. I don't even want to mention his name. The chair is a very vindictive motherfucker. He really is. Very, very vindictive. And that karma will get him. I really do not agree with what the chair is doing. And if he actually thinks that he's going to make friends after this, he's really he's wrong. Now, what will happen is the trolls will run to him and be his friend, right, to get him to come after me or to come after other people, and that's fine. If Frank wants to be friends with trolls, then that's his choice, But really, Frank, you need to change your attitude. You need to change what you're doing in the Philippines. This will not lead to anything good, okay, in the future for you. I mean, what you're doing is way, way out of line. Again, this is, James Cardanian Bond's advice to Frank. Now, you can take my advice, and you don't have to take my advice, Frank. But I know you don't have a good life there. You're stressed out. All you're doing is thinking about other bloggers and how you can fuck them and all this. Now, I already know who your next target is. It's going to be Nico. I could see it already. It's coming. I saw the video that you did 0 to 60 and then you took it down real fast, huh? But you did that video. So again, Nico, if you're listening to this, you may be the next target. You probably love it because that's what you want. Because I know Nico wants to get into the drama. I know he does. Deep down, he really does. Don't lie, Nico. I know you do. But anyway, the chair, Frank the chair, it's not good what you're doing. But hey, if this is how you get off on fucking with people and spending all this money on lawyers, where you could have just took that money, got your girl an annulment, and then you could have got married to her. So how much money you wasted on lawyers or inept lawyers is unbelievable. But again, you're going to do what you're going to do. Hey, go ahead and do what you're going to do, bro. That's all I got to say on the chair. Let me move on to my another guy, Eloise the Winter. By the way, I want to reiterate that your English is getting better, as I always, say, because every day that you speak English, Eloise, it's getting better. Now, I noticed that you took another bus trip to see the Alps. And then I also noticed that you're using AI technology to put up fake videos on other vloggers. Eloise the Winter. Damn. Just when I thought you couldn't get any lower, boy, you get lower and lower. I am so proud of you, Eloise. It's amazing. And then you wonder why I don't want to be your friend. I really don't. I don't. But that's the two little knuckleheads that I want to talk about real quick. Let's see. Who do I want to talk to? We're not gonna. Are we gonna talk about Sweet Pea? Yeah, we can talk a little bit about Sweet Pea. Hang on. Let me look into the chat here real quick. Hey, Junior, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Joel Alba, best to keep my money and spend it taking trips to Mexico, South Korea, Philippines, Japan, and Thailand. Correct. Bummer, Ula, muchacho. Yeah, thanks for coming in. Eloise isn't that a salad dressing? Yeah, it could be. Again, we got 12 people watching. We got a few people in the chat talking. For those of you that came in late, this is James Cardanian Bond bringing up some news that just developed in the last few days. Unfortunately, Bama is in jail, but Bama, he may get out. But I don't think he will be able to. Now, according to what I know about immigration laws, which I don't know a lot about, if you go over 1 year overstay, from my understanding, you're pretty much going to get deported. Even if you pay up your back dues, you will get deported. If Bama would have kept that under 12 months, because I know somebody that just went through that, he was just exactly 1 year, or just up to 1 year overstay. He paid up about $150,000 with late fees and all that shit and back immigration fees, and he was able to stay in the country. So I think this is going to be a tough hill to climb, Bama. I hope you're able to stay, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think you will get deported, even if you come up with the money and pay everything up. Let's see, Graham said, "Is that true? He's in jail." Yes, he is in immigration jail. Let's see. If any of you guys want to help Bama out, you can just contact him. He's got some Gcash information that he can put out there, or PayPal. You'll have to talk to him. Now, let's move on to Sweet Pea Crybaby. I don't have much to say about him. Let's see. Sweet Pea Crybaby says he has a family in the U.S. That's why he doesn't go to the Philippines. No, Sweet Pea Crybaby doesn't go to the Philippines because, one, there'll be people looking for him, most likely. He's kind of fucked over a lot of people. And two, I think he just doesn't have the money. He's afraid. He doesn't care. He's not able to carry his .40 caliber with him in the Philippines. That's what it is. That dude don't go out of his house without his gun. Even in Florida, he's a chicken shit. So again, Sweet Pea, don't lie about why you don't go to the Philippines. Let's see. Basically, he's got a family, he says, in the Philippines. Probably doesn't care too much about him. I would probably venture to say that if once he gets old enough, his family will wheelchair him into the retirement home as soon as they're able to. I mean, Popeye does have real friendships in the Philippines. Nico, that's about it. How many friends does Popeye really have in the Philippines? Now, look, he struck up a friendship with Nico. He wants to get into that Puerto Rican family. He wants a second family in case his family doesn't come through for him. Maybe he's hoping that Nico's family will help him out, trying to bribe Nico's daughter with a walker or whatever in the hell he bought her for her upcoming baby. But again, Nico calls Popeye for advice. Keep that in mind. Nico calls Popeye for advice. Now, what kind of advice can a washed up 60-year-old like Popeye would give people? I mean, really? See stories? I don't know. Let me look into the... And again, keep in mind, this is for entertainment purposes only. Bummer says, Popeye stated he has always idolized Rique. He probably took Rique's course. I wouldn't be surprised. Joel Alba, I got nothing against Popeye. My only adversary is Old Pronk. Look, I don't have anything against anybody, but this is just for entertainment purposes. Okay, I, James Cardanian Bond, uh, only do this for entertainment purposes. That's it. But I will call certain people out that are fake. I hate fake people. I just don't like fake people. Bummer says Sweet Pea is my boy Popeye. Oh, Joel Alba, you don't know who Sweet Pea is? Sweet Pea Crybaby, Lost in Nomad, made up that name for Popeye when they had a little falling out. They may be back on the up and up together, or I don't know if they're still on the outs, or I'm not really sure. But in my book, now, not in everybody's book, Popeye is a loser. Again, that's just in my book. That's all. You know, I, James Cardanian Bond, only hang out with winners. That's it. Now, Popeye is still bragging about the baby carriage that he bought Nico's daughter, and he keeps doing that on almost every time he comes on some live stream, because that's all he's done. Well, maybe buy Nico's daughter a car, Popeye. Why don't you do that instead of a couple $100 baby carriage? Buy her a car if you really, want to help her out, or give her some money, maybe for a wedding or some shit like that. But you bought her a little couple $100 baby carriage out of Amazon, and you're so proud. Yeah, okay. Now, what's interesting is Popeye is very paranoid. I noticed that. Always thinks that some people have an agenda against him. Nobody gives a fuck about Popeye. They really don't. Does anybody give a fuck about Popeye? Who gives a fuck about an old washed up dude? I do this for content. I really don't give a fuck about the guy. Okay, I really don't. I just do this for content. Hey, be nice, corn, and yeah. Yeah, right. I guess anybody that doesn't like Popeye can eat the corn out of his shit. What kind of nonsensical kind of statement is that? A little James Cardanian Bond is a little under the weather here. Again, I just laughed. There's so much content here. I just couldn't hold back. I had to come on the stream here and do one. Let's see. And again, Popeye, please stop putting on a fake Bostonian accent. He's making it like he's some Bostonian. He's not a Bostonian. Get the fuck out of here. And as I mentioned, if you stepped in the Philippines, there's a lot of mofos out there looking for your little butt. They'll find you. They know what you look like. And, one thing I noticed, I was watching a live stream. Can't remember which one it was on. I might have been on Big Kev. Popeye's blood pressure went up when he saw Rain Man in the chat. Oh, and you know how I judge people sometimes? I judge people by the friends that they have, by the associations that they keep. Look at all of Popeye's friends on YouTube. What does that tell you? I don't need to really say anything any further. But that's about it on that clown. I'm kind of done with him. Now let's get to let me get to my boy. Food stamp flip up. Let's get to him. And then I'll keep the Puerto Rican Prince last. I like the Puerto Rican Prince. I'm starting to really taking kind to him. Graham said Popeye is the only person I ever heard of that brags about buying a dishwasher. Yeah, really. What did he buy? $1,000 dishwasher? I mean, what the fuck? One of the things I noticed, James Cardanian Bond, noticed about a lot of these guys, they have feminine tendencies. It's really weird. You got one guy that constantly brags about getting his hair braided, getting his nails polished. Then you got another guy talking about washing dishes, cooking for his daughter and shit like that. Wow, man, this, again, a lot of these guys have a lot of feminine tendencies. Now, Popeye talks about he was some kind of MP in the military. Popeye was not an MP, not at all. He was a cook. Keep that in mind. That's what he did. Bummer, his e-bike looks like a Corvette. Yeah, and any real man would not ride an e-bike. It just wouldn't. Especially an e-bike with a little basket in front with his dog in it, with a little lap dog. And a real man will not have a little miniature lap dog. They just don't. So again, I don't know. And then some people ask me, well, why don't you like these guys? And some of these guys are not men. They're just a bunch of woke, feminine little bitches. That's what they are. Yes. And if I saw them, I would tell them right to their face. Woke, feminine little bitches. That's what they are. And then little bitches hang out with little bitches. That's what they do. All right, let me see. Let me go next. Okay, food stamp flipper. Food stamp flipper. Now look, food stamp flipper, he actually threatened Brevis today. I happened to wake up early and he did a live stream. He was doing a live stream right when I woke up. I was watching. It was an interesting live stream. He threatened Brevis. Now, food stamp flipper, for those of you that don't know who he is, food stamp flipper, aka MJ the Flipper, aka Burrito Mike, aka some other fucking. Damn. He's got a bunch of names. This is the guy that's gonna go threaten Brevis. Now I don't know. I can't really see both of them fighting. Food stamp flipper. I mean, look, dude. He had some oompa loompa. He said that jumped him when he was in Dumagetti, and he didn't do shit. He said he ran away. Basically, that's what he did. So he's got an oompa loompa that came at him again, supposedly. Now he could be lying, but why would somebody lie about getting beat up by oompa loompa? Okay. Now look, I saw him in his little. What was that? That suit, that hazmat suit, and that respirator. He looked like a little oompa loompa. And we'll get to that in a minute. All right. So again, this guy, there's so much content. Every time he opens up his mouth, that's tons of content. Him and his brother bought an old house, which is technically considered historical home now, which has a certain maintenance requirement from the city. Now, look, James Cardanian Bond, went to college in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And Kalamazoo, Michigan is known for one of the worst cities to have rental properties in Western Michigan. There's a lot of bureaucracy in the government there, in the local city politics and all that. Fucking nobody with any kind of money really invest in that area. What he did, him and his brother. Now, I don't think. Now, keep in mind, he says that him and his brother owned this rental property in Kalamazoo. I painted this house back in the late 70s. Now, I looked up the property, and it's public record. James Cardanian Bond, only look up public record. I will not spend a dime to pay any kind of service to look up somebody's record. But again, I looked it up, and the property is under his brother's name only. Now, why is it under his brother's name? I don't know. I think Food Stamp Flipper is running a little scam there. I think he is. Maybe he owes people some money, government some money. Maybe he's getting some welfare, so he can't have any properties in his name. I don't really know. But anyway, they bought this property. Okay, let's say they both own, which they don't. They buy the property. They bought it in 2019. We're way late, man. They should have been buying them properties right around 2010, 2011 when the market's bottomed out. They bought them properties very late for $150,000. Maybe the property's worth maybe 200, 210. But it's, again, there's a lot of restrictions. When you buy a historical home, now, back then, James Cardanian Bond, when I lived in that area, these houses were not yet considered historical homes. And the scam that the city did is they tagged them as historical homes so they can get extra fees, extra taxes. And these guys probably didn't know about the shit when they bought the house. Now, this is a three-bedroom, three-bath, or four-bedroom, three-bath. I can't remember. Now, MJ the Flipper, Food Stamp Flipper, was talking about his 1% rule. Yeah. So let's say now they're renting out rooms. That's basically what they're doing. It's a rooming house, right? And it may not even be technically considered a rooming house. It may not have a rooming house designation, but they're renting out rooms. Maybe they're lucky if they get $500 a month per person. That's 3 rooms. 500. That's 1,500. That's the 1% rule. Yeah. Everybody knows about the 1% rule. So they're making $1,500 gross rent a month, and that's 1% of what they paid for the property. Now they overpaid for the property, obviously, but 1,500 a month. By the time you pay taxes, maintenance, and they're paying electricity and water, they have to be, because in a rooming house, then people aren't going to split the expenses. So they're paying the electricity, the water bill, if there's any garbage pickup. That may be probably included in property taxes. They may have a monthly nut, probably maybe, I would say 2, 4, 5, maybe 6 or 7. They might be making 700 or 800, maybe, if nothing goes wrong with the property. These are 700 bucks a month if nothing goes wrong, if there's no maintenance involved or nothing. Yeah, they might be making that kind of money. Let's say I, James Cardinian Bond, have been flipping properties, also have been in a landlord business myself, for managing other people's properties. And I look at things a little differently. And keep in mind now, I speculated last time that I talked about this, that they're painting this house, because I speculated that the cost of painting that house is probably about 20 grand if you get a company to come in. And the flipper says it's 30 to 40 grand. So think about this. Even at 20 grand, you got to get a second mortgage and have that house painted. Now they're going to do it themselves, which they have no other choice. But did they even look at stuff like that before they bought that property? Probably not. They didn't even think about it. It got sprung on them after they bought it. So if I was them, and my theory on owning any kind of property, whether it's investment property or whether it's just a single family home to flip, if it's investment property, you want to make sure that you at least break even. You want to make sure you get a good price on the property when you buy it. Like buy low, sell high concept, not buy high, sell low. You want to make sure that you get a good price on the property. And then while you wait for that property to appreciate, you want to make sure that your current rents at least break even on all your expenses. And when that property appreciates to a certain level where you think you have a good profit, capital appreciation, then you sell the property, and that's how you make your money. If your concept is to hold on to that property and be a landlord for 30 years until you pay that property off, or for 20 years, you ain't going to make no money. You're a fool. Nobody does that anymore. So again, if you got a profit, especially the way you bought it now, you may have a profit of 50, 60,000. Is it going to appreciate that much more? Probably not, because you're capped out on your rents. If you're getting 500 a month for each bedroom, 6 or 7 maybe, you might be able to tap out at that. You get much above that, you can go rent out an apartment, a 1-bedroom apartment, easily somewhere else, just outside of Kalamazoo, and get a 1-bedroom. Why would you pay for a room, 500 a month for a room? So again, these guys are getting close to being capped out rent-wise. They're talking about, well, we keep our rents low so that the tenants will stay long term. And then he turns around and says, well, the property, what do you call, taxes are going up. We're going to have to raise the rent. Dude, you ain't got much more room to raise the rents. You're tapped out. Time to sell that property. But anyway, hey, the flipper knows, he's a professional at this. Fazio, I respect you take on how Frank went about his business using a detective card. It's not like Bummer is aloe and tries to destroy lives. I'm not sure of that. But look, the flipper wants to be a Bitcoin professional, which he's failed at, a real estate professional, which he's failing at. You need to understand real estate investing, and that's where I think they don't. These guys are just basically trial and error kind of guys. Real estate investing is very, very hard to do nowadays, especially if you're trying to be a landlord. If you're just trying to make rents and try to keep these properties for long term, you ain't going to make no money. And again, you need to charge market rents. And if you do charge market rents, you will have negative cash flow because you will have empties. If one of your rooms goes empty for any amount of time, you got a loser. So they can't really raise rents too much or people will move out. Kalamazoo is one of the worst areas in Western Michigan with its bureaucracies to be a landlord, but probably didn't know about that. Let's see. The flipper Again, did a live stream. It's Saturday night where he's at, drinking beer, sitting home doing nothing. So he figured he'd do a live stream. That's generally what you do when you broke. He did say that Mr. Cardanian Bond didn't have property in the U.S. and he was surprised. Well, MJ the Flipper, I've explained this before. Maybe I'll explain it again to you, since you don't really understand the concept of what Mr. Cardanian Bond is doing. Mr. Cardanian Bond does not expect to go back to the United States at all, only to maybe take care of some banking issues. But other than that, he's not going back. So why would Mr. Cardanian Bond have any real estate in the U.S. if he's not going to go back and live there at all? So why would he possibly pay property taxes if he had a mortgage, pay his mortgage, pay monthly expenses? Why would he do that? Only an idiot would do something like that. So being smart, like Mr. Cardanian Bond, the only expense Mr. Cardanian Bond has in the United States is a postal service. It's an online postal service, $15 a month. Can you explain that, Mr. Flipper? BK, thanks for coming in. Bama ain't in jail. He's in detention at police station. Yeah, that's basically it. I think he probably called immigration jail or whatever it is. Detention, that's all it is. So again, MJ the Flipper, can you explain to me why somebody that will not go back to the United States and live in the U.S. should hold property in the U.S.? Why would they do that? The cost of carrying a property in the U.S. right now is extremely expensive. Why would you do that? Don't understand that. And somebody, I think it was, who was it? What's that one troll that comes in all the time? He cracks me up. He was asking if MJ the Flipper knew what the 4% rule was, and MJ the Flipper didn't. MJ the Flipper was talking about he's buying dividend stocks, which I know he's lying. I don't even think he knows what dividend stocks are. James Cardanian Bond, is much older than the Flipper and don't buy dividend stocks. I don't even waste my time with dividend stocks. But MJ the Flipper is buying dividend stocks. How much dividends can you get on buying $1,000 worth of stock? And MJ the Flipper says he's sitting on the sideline about the crypto market. The crypto market is not ready, is not yet an investment for him. He'll wait another year. So basically, MJ the Flipper is saying, buy high, sell low. And another lie that MJ the Flipper said, he cashed out on his crypto around that 49,000 level. He's lying. I have facts that MJ the Flipper cashed out at 30,000. What idiot would cash out at 30,000? He missed the whole fucking move. Now, James Cardanian Bond, did not believe in crypto on that last rally, but I do now. And it's looking good. The Flipper. Now, look, this crypto could go to zero and I lose my stake, but I don't care. James Cardanian Bond, only have 10K invested with the potential of making minimum 50K, but maximum possibly up to 110, 120K. But even if everything goes to zero and I lose my 10K, I don't care, because losing that 10K will not alter my retirement at all, not so ever. The Flipper. Oh, man. You can't make this shit up. So MJ the Flipper, please give us more advice on crypto investing as well as stock investing and whatever kind of other and real estate investment. Please do. We can't wait to hear what else you have to say about these type of investments. Let's see. 9 people watching. Well, it's good. Let's see. Let's move on. That's about it for the Flipper. I don't really see him going anywhere. Hopefully, he's getting his little pennies together. And making some money to get his girl over to the U.S. Now he ain't getting none unless he's cheating on this girl. because it's going to be at least another year for her to get there. Maybe 8 months if he's lucky. 8 months to a year for her to get there. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a little while, but it's all right. The flipper, you need to learn patience. The flipper, patience. But I like the flipper. I ain't got nothing against the flipper. I like all the nonsense he comes up with. Damn, I'm glad I had my shit together when I was his age. Damn, I mean, I had my shit together. Where he's at in life now, at what, 38, 39, 40 years old? Man, I was there already when I was about 25. I'd say 20 years. So I was about 10 years ahead of where he's at now. It's amazing. It's amazing, this new culture, what these woke motherfuckers, damn, they're just, they ain't got it, man. They just ain't got it. Hang in 1 second. Let me hang in 1 second. Now I gave the flip up. I gave the flip up some advice, and hopefully he'll take it. But anyway, what can I tell you? All right, that's really probably going to be about it. I was going to talk about the Puerto Rican Playboy. I'll save that for the next one. And anybody got any kind of questions or anything at this point? I'm going easy on the Puerto Rican Playboy. I really like that guy. I really do. He's a good guy. I'm starting to like him. Yeah, that's really about it, BK. That's basically it. Yeah, he might be, I would say. But any other questions? Anything else, guys? Anything else? That's it? All right, let me get out of here. I don't want to waste any more time on this nonsense. And I'm out of here. 38 minutes is good enough. Thank you for coming. And I'll talk about the Puerto Rican Playboy next time. There's a lot of good shit there, but I'm going to give him a break. I feel like I'm, how should I say, I feel good today. Thank you for coming in, everybody. I feel generous today. So I'm going to give him a break, and I'll talk about him next time. All right, guys. Talk to you next. Thank you for coming in. Really appreciate it. And the flipper, keep on trucking, bro. Keep on trucking. Talk to y'all later. Thank you for coming in.